There's a new set of products for motorcyclists that enable you to project your phone on a screen, even if your bike didn't come with a screen. This allows you not to be dropping your phone all the time, to have a bigger screen, to connect to see your tire pressure. Sometimes they come with a dual camera system as well for security. I'd like to introduce you to some of these products. I'm reviewing a few of them, and I hope maybe they make your life a little bit easier, at least safer, getting that phone higher in front in a bigger way. Let's do it. Zdravo I dobrodošli, bom dia, bem-vindos, servus, willkommen, buenos dias, bienvenidos, greetings, riders. Welcome to another gear review, Pegasus Motorcycle Tours and Consulting. Nick here, thank you so much for your time. As you might have seen, I've reviewed some options when it comes to aftermarket screens for the motorcycle. Orex was one of them, Carpuride, and now AOCC. AOCC is another brand that provides these really cool screens for motorcyclists. I have two different versions. I have the 6P and the 5P. The 5P is a smaller screen, 5 inches. The 6P is 6.25 inch monitor. This one comes with dual camera system for front and back that records and saves footage that it deems worth saving based on the GPS and whatever sensors it has inside. And this also comes with a tire pressure monitor. These little plugs replace your valve covers and then they measure your tire pressure. I also believe the temperature, which is very interesting that now you have options if your bike didn't come with this technology. If you want to put that right in front of your face, really high up, as opposed to your phone having to take it in and out of the mount and constantly dropping it, at least that's what happens with me. I think these are great options. So it's kind of nice that they send these kind of shock-proof, rain-proof, rain-resistant in any case, monitors that are now available to us for the car, for the snowmobile, for the motorcycle. This is motorcycle specific, and I very much look forward to reviewing it, getting to know it, and if you find at the end of the review that this is something that you want to try, there is a very generous discount offer provided by the company. So check into the description of this video so that you're saving some money. All right, so this is the AOCC, spelled AOOCCI. This model is the 6.25 inch. Beautiful. It looks kind of heavy duty. It looks really well made. It's got the built-in GPS monitor in here. So this one, as opposed to the other one that I reviewed by Orex, can be independent of your phone in that regard. You don't need to be connected to the phone for the GPS. This one has everything built in, so that's kind of nice. The power cable is screwed on, so nobody can really walk away with this unless they cut it or unless they're actually, tinkering there with it. So the other monitor that I received that is from the same brand, the little smaller one, has all the features. It's just a smaller monitor. I put that on my sidecar rigs because sometimes we park our sidecars in public spaces, and just for insurance purposes, it's really nice to have constant footage in 1080p, so it's still considered HD footage that you can rely on in case of, God forbid, accidents or any kind of claims, etc. It's a security thing, and the fact that the footage keeps recording on a loop is really nice. My understanding is that if there's a significant event, as keeps, I guess, identified by the various sensors in the unit, it will record that footage. It will save that footage, actually, because it's constantly recording. So that's kind of nice. What I also noticed is that these plugs, as opposed to another system that I've used previously that I wouldn't recommend, these plugs here are screw-on, so they cannot unplug by themselves accidentally, because you route this from the battery to the rear of the motorcycle to one camera, to the front to the other. So it's really nice. Especially in the case of the Goldwing, I mean, you have to take the whole bike apart just to route this and hide the wires, so you don't want them coming apart. So they need to be screwed on, and these are. It really looks like a high quality item, to be very honest. Now, kind of interesting, I reached out to the company and I was inquiring about ways to install this on the Goldwing, because the Goldwing doesn't have bars, so you can't clip it to the bar. And immediately, I mean, they went to work and produced a mount specific to this unit that would be able to mount into the two bolts that hold the lever mechanism, let's say. So that's one way that Goldwing owners install cup holders and what have you, a plethora of knickknacks. I actually did a video of all the accessories you can put on a Goldwing. You can check that out if you're a Goldwing owner. So my business, Pegasus Sidecar Tours, is based on Goldwings. So that's why I needed a special mount for that particular bike. And they were really quick in turning it around, and actually, I believe they created it out of nothing. Their engineers just made it and sent it to me. It's kind of impressive. I gotta say, it's, you know, that it's that easy sometimes. So you have what seems to be a very durable, very high quality camera. We'll check that obviously when we connect it to the bike. And there is another model of this unit, like a third option. The first doesn't come with any of this additional stuff. This is the middle mark, and in the highest end, or the highest optioned version, you also get a little remote control, a little 3-button remote control that you install directly above your right thumb so that you can answer phone calls and that kind of thing. So, oh no, it's right here. Never mind. Yeah, did not see that before. So this is wonderful. You get a little remote control with a bracket, metal housing here for the bolt so it's not going to come off. And then there is a play or a phone button. There's a picture taking button, and there's a video and a lock button. So 3 buttons all together with dual functions each. Awesome. That's great. I look forward to that. What I noticed also with this unit, as opposed to the Oryx, and again, if you haven't seen that review, you probably should. It's going to be beneficial because you can see what else is available. This is a little bit more, I guess, superior in that regard because it has all these features. But if these features aren't important to you, then there's other options for you. And the price is really reasonable. And again, that unit also has a discount associated with it. But what I noticed a difference is the gauge of the cable supply, the connections is much, well, the gauge is lower because the cable is thicker. So that's great. So this is a thicker cable, and you know, electricity is like a river. The more the better, right? So this is nice. This seems a little more durable. And another addition that I really appreciate is that the connection cables come with an open-ended, how do you call this? I don't know, the tip that allows you to connect it to the battery. For the other brand, it didn't, so I had to kind of rig it, and I prefer not to do any of that if I don't have to. This is ready to go, and it actually gives you an accessory specific yellow wire, so that you find a place. Obviously, black is ground, red is power, and they're marked actually right here with the little sticker. So when you have the accessory powered cable, then you can connect it to, well, different ways. And this I leave up to you because I don't want to be responsible to recommending a way to install this and then drain your battery and get you caught on the side of the road somewhere. But you don't want this directly to the battery because it'll always be draining it, right? Because it's constantly recording. So you want to connect it somehow to being powered when the key is actually on the accessory or turned on, where the motorcycle is on, right? I'm going to be installing this on my very new TRK 502X by Benelli, a bike that doesn't get a lot of recognition here for some reason, even though it's the best-selling motorcycle in Italy and much of Europe, to be honest. Great motorcycle so far. Bought it brand new 2 days ago, put 100 miles in it, and super surprised at how much you get for the money. So stay tuned for that review. It's got a really great tall windscreen and a GPS mounting bracket that comes with the motorcycle, and I really want to get this unit as high up as I can so that I don't have to look down and be distracted, and I don't have to be pulling my phone out. And RAM mounts have become really kind of a hassle to use in that regard, and keep dropping my phone, especially with gloves and whatnot. So we'll also test how this works with gloves. So I notice, oh, it's here. Look at that. Everything's here. I noticed 3 screws on top, and I assumed correctly that that was for the shades, little shading part, and sure enough it is. So I just have to install that. All the hardware is provided. There's mounting brackets for the cameras, and there's various mounting brackets for bars, or whichever way you decide to install it on your motorcycle. And again, I was really surprised how quickly they came up with the solution to install it on for the Goldwing. So let's install this. It's kind of self-explanatory. I'll kind of guide you through it. But let's install it on the motorcycle, and then let's take it for a spin and let's see what it's about. I think it's going to be great because I did like having the units up higher and being able to see more of the map and being able to stay safer that way, because every time I crashed, honestly, it's been because I've been distracted, and we can't help it sometimes. I do answer phone calls while I'm riding in my Bluetooth, and this has a dual Bluetooth system, so it won't interfere with your connectivity to a group, for example. We'll test all that out. It's just, I think it's a better, safer way to be motoring, so let's do it. Let's put this together before we hop on the bike. First, I'm going to install the back part of this, and I noticed the back part, you can, obviously, you're going to tighten it when you find the right angle here. But I noticed it's got the gyro kind of backing to prevent vibration transferring to the unit, which is really great, really smart. So that goes there. You get the 4 little bolts. They give you everything, including the Allen. So that goes there, and this goes on your bike, and then you get a bunch of these adapters to fit various size bars. Okay. For the remote basically just goes, well, there's a picture of it in the handy dandy manual. And it goes on your mirror, basically, like that. Goes on your mirror. This goes here, and this goes on your mirror, and that's it. Simple as that. The windscreen, not the windscreen, but the sunshade, just screws on top. And those are tiny, and I wish they gave you a little screwdriver, because they didn't, but those are tiny. Luckily, I have one. So that would have been a nice little addition, little screwdriver. So that goes like that. These are for your cameras. That's a sticky back end. They feel like they're metal, so that's good. And then you just basically drill them somewhere on the bike that's looking towards the rear and that's looking towards the front. So there you go. That's self-explanatory as well. You get 2 of those, obviously. And then you get these awesome zip bags, Ziploc bags that you could reuse. And of course, being a dad, you know I reuse everything. And for these tire pressure monitors, they also give you a little handy dandy lock nut ring tool, as they say. Let me show you what that looks like. It says, please safekeeping installation tool, wrench for anti-thief nut in case of need to remove install sensors. So yeah, little changlers there, but this is the victim of the installation, and it's working out really well. Look at this awesome screen here with the bar that's already there. I had to improvise and add a little bit of rubber because the supplied spacers were not enough. This is plastic. I wish that it wasn't, but it would add weight if it was metal. But it's looking really nice. Really nice. And it's as if this bike was made for it. They give you a little slot there for all the cabling. The front camera I had to offset a little bit. It's right there. I'm obviously going to point it in the right way. Once it's set, I don't want to pull the glue quite yet. And then I neatly tucked that. I still have to work on that, but not quite as neat as it needs to be. The rear camera is right here. Really, really nice. And then just gonna run that under the seat. Super simple. And this motorcycle, the Benelli 502 TRK, gives you an accessory that's powered by the accessory when the ignition switches on. So I think I'm going to splice into that. Another option is the light for the license plate, but that looks a little more complicated, to be very honest. I actually don't even see it. Not sure if this bike has it. Might not be available. So that's one option that lights up when the key is turned on, which is what we want. This motorcycle also provides 2 accessory switches. One is for heated grips and the other is for something else, but this bike doesn't have it, so they're just mute at this moment. I could possibly do that, but then I would still have to remember to turn it off, turn it on, so I don't want to remember anything. So yeah, it's looking good though. Look at that. I like it. And I love how this came out almost like stock. Look at that, right where it needs to be, just because of this wonderful bracket. I just added 2 washers in the back and blue Loctite here because I don't want those to vibrate out, and that's it. Look at that, super convenient and comfortable. Love it. So far so good. Okay, so what I did was splice in this 12 volt USB supplied power station by the motorcycle. So I just basically spliced in a little, very carefully, very small input where I can kind of graft in both the power and the accessory, because that outlet is only powered when the key is in. So if my plan is correct, these connected to there and the neutral to the neutral is only going to turn on when the key is in there. Let's try it. Let's look at the screen. Let's see. Hopefully it does it. There it is. Boom. I love it. So first time starting. Which means that this is not going to drain the power when it's not in use. So now I'm just going to neatly splice these in, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, this is ready. More or less neat. We'll see. And now I'm going to just cut here. Let's start with red. Put them together. And then finally connect them here. You can tell I'm not electrically trained. I just understand the basics, but okay. Now before I button that down and obviously put, oh look at that, great. Put electrical tape, I'm going to just test it one last time. Make sure that it works. Because this isn't like a stress point, doesn't see a lot of pull or push action, so should work. All right, so there it is. That's basically what it's gonna look like underneath all the tape. And now testing it. Come on, there we go. Fantastic. One very cool feature is that AOCC allows you to send them a file so they could do whatever they do, and they send it back so you can install it in your welcome screen. That's pretty cool. It's my Pegasus logo on the screen. I love it. Very cool. Takes a little bit of a second to boot up, and then we're here. This is our first time trying to, let's see, connect the unit with the Bluetooth of my phone, with the Bluetooth of GPS, and the tire pressure monitor. I'm putting my X-Strike gloves by Dainese, my favorite gloves. I've reviewed them to see how these work with the gloves. So here's what the camera sees. So I guess I gotta adjust the front. There's the rear, and you could switch that. It doesn't have an SD card right now, but it's easily installed in there. Okay, so let's see. Let's do Bluetooth. Bluetooth on. How do we connect the Bluetooth? Let's see. So I got an Android Auto. Change Z-Link mode. So use your Android phone. Pairing. Couldn't pair. Check the settings. Let's try that again. Let's see. Couldn't connect. All right. Bluetooth. Remote. Let's just do disconnect. Connect. I'm gonna do the same. Scan. Kind of refreshing everything. Available devices. Couldn't pair. Check the setting for device and try again. Couldn't pair. Make sure the price is ready to pair. I feel like feel like it's trying. Okay, let me restart. I love that you could put your logo there. It's very nice. It makes it your own. Android Auto. Pair. There it is. It just needed to be restarted. All right. I heard a little beep, so I think we are connected. I think we are connected. Yeah, it says it right there. Okay. Wonderful. There we are. Cool. We are in La Jolla. Put that there. We don't need that. Yeah, I love it. Okay. Fairly responsive with the gloves. You do get the minus plus here. Let me see if you can zoom in just by using one hand. Where do we go? There we are. Beautiful La Jolla. And it doesn't look like we can. I think it's just confusing the screen, so can't really use both hands. Let's recenter. Or two-finger operation doesn't work. Okay, so there it is. Let's that's basically working off your map. All right, now we get home by, let's see, is it, I'm not sure. No, I think we get home by, in the home screen, I mean. Oh, right here. All the apps. I think, yeah, exit. There we are. So that's Android Audio. Driving recording. You could tell here there's a little red marker that shows you that it's recording right in that corner. I don't know if you could see it. It's a little tricky. We got the sun behind us. You could take a picture, lock, playback, and you can record. I'll play with that when I have an SD card in there. CarPlay, BT settings. Let's see, Bluetooth for the tire pressure monitors. I don't know. Let's see, pairing. It's pairing the front. Still pairing. I don't know if I needed to bring it closer to the unit. That might be the case. I can do that. Let's see. Oh, I can't, because I actually installed the anti-lock. Oh, there it is. It caught it. 3-bar PSI. See if I could change that later. It's connecting the rear now. Still pairing with the rear, and it gives you a low alarm, so that's interesting. That's great. So I don't know what 3-bar means. It's the European way to measure pressure. I'm familiar with PSI, so I'm gonna see if I can get PSIs on this screen. You get temperature of your tire. Oh, okay, I think it's got to press PSI. Okay, it says 26. That's very low. I'm going to check later to see if that's the case, and it will confirm. New bike. I didn't really check pressure before. Temperature, let's put it in Fahrenheit of the tire. 73 degrees. That's awesome. And then you can adjust your high, your alarm, basically. Low alarm, higher alarm. So if it's lower than, now it's on 21, it's a little overlapping, so it's hard to read here. But let's say if it's lower than 20, and if it's higher than 43, there'll be an alarm. So that's cool. All right, so that's kind of cool. And then, taking a while to pair the rear tire. We'll do that later. So that's home. And then panel gives you this really cool, basically, speedo compass right here in the middle, tachometer, which I'm not sure how we would know. That's kind of interesting. We'll see what that does when we're on the road. It gives you the front and rear in bar and Celsius, so it didn't quite save my settings from that screen. Front and rear pressure for the tire, and in the very center it gives you the miles per hour. And this looks almost like a GPS here, but it would be very small to make it usable, so that's cool. So I like it. GPS info. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is giving you. Latitude, longitude, speed. I think just stuff for the GPS. Let me run you through some of the features and what it's been like now, a week, having lived with it. I've really learned to like it, to be honest. It's been very useful. I like the fact that you can always have a camera displaying what's behind you. It's kind of a safety thing. If you're at a red light, you keep it in gear, you know, to look at your mirrors, but your eyes tend to go to the screen. So in case somebody's coming barreling down at you, it's kind of nice to be able to get away, or at least in concept, right? So the driving recorder, I find this to be the most useful feature. You can display either both at the same time. You can swap these around, or you can display either the rear or the front at any one time. You can also do that by this really great remote. The remote you don't even have to look down to. It's kind of self-intuitive. It looks like it came with the bike. That's another feature I really like with this motorcycle. So when you hit this button, it changes between different views. When you hit the next button, it changes between the map and the camera. And supposedly this button is to answer your phone calls and whatnot. So now the options for the camera are as follows. You get resolution, how often you want it to loop, the G sensor sensitivity. I put it on low because it was in the middle, and I've noticed it recorded when I backed into my trash can. It's kind of interesting. So when it senses an event, there's actually a folder in the SD card, which is right here, called events. So it records that stuff there. The dates, watermark, GPS information, and audio recording. You might be able to hear it if it's behind a screen, otherwise you definitely won't. You have the brightness of the screen. This is the brightest. The sound of the beeps and whatnot, and if your radio is on when you turn on your autoplay or whatever, Bluetooth and other options, but those were screens or camera specific. This here records or saves this particular clip, so it doesn't override it eventually, right? I have it set up at 1 minute clips, so every minute this is going to refresh and the little dot's going to turn red. Okay, audio on or off, loop playback, and back to the home screen. The panel again is really nice. I've concluded that the reading in the tire pressure monitor is correct, actually, to the PSI. So I'm impressed with that. One of them still has not connected, the rear one. You could tell here. And I bet you that's because the battery in there is low. So you know, the batteries that come with these things are not top quality, top shelf kind of thing. So just if you replace them, you'll be okay for a long while. So I think I'm gonna do that and try it, but has a second to pair. But other than that, it's been great. There are two possible improvements that I see for next units. It's this mount here ought to be metal, in my opinion, and not plastic, just for longevity. And there ought to be a dedicated power button. You can't turn this off. You can set it to go to sleep, the monitor, I believe 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, something like that, but you can't turn it off. It would be nice to have a button to do that. Now the other AOC model, which is the 5-inch screen, has that dedicated button on the side. It actually has 4 buttons here, and it's just nice to be able to click it off when you don't want to look at it. So I would add it in any case for the next models. Stay tuned for that review as well. It's a little bit of a different unit, and in any case, I'm able to offer my subscribers like 22% off or something like that, which is very generous. If you find this unit useful to you, you can save some money that way. Click on the link in the description. That way you're also supporting a little bit of this channel. I believe I get a percentage of the sales if you do decide to purchase one for yourself. So there you see the monitor has gone off. It's faintly visible in the rear, but overall the screen really is great when it comes to tactile function with your gloves and whatnot. There's no issues with that, so I like it. I like it a lot, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it for this bike. This is the Benelli TRK 502X, amazing motorcycle. I just picked it up new, and I've noticed a lot of dolphins playing in the background. So stay tuned for this review and stay safe until next time. I hope that was helpful. Thank you again for your support. See ya. Nick, I'm out.